All right, guys, today we're starting kind of our introduction into wildcatting in a sense. I've been having a heck of a time finding decent brass for my 7 Winchester short magnum. So what we're gonna do here, I don't know if you can see that, is we're gonna take some 270 Winchester short magnum and we're gonna shorten it to 7 Winchester short magnum. Here's a 7 Winchester short magnum case versus a 270. You can see the neck's quite a bit longer. I don't know if you can see that or not. Neck's quite a bit longer. The shoulder's a little bit more forward on my 7 Winchester short magnum. And we're just going to resize this 270 Winchester short magnum into 7. We're just going to neck it up and then we're going to fire form it in our rifle chamber. All right, guys, all we're going to do here is we're just going to open the case mouth from 0.277 to 0.284. Put a little case lube on there. You might want to go a little slow on this step. Shouldn't be too bad. We're not really sizing the brass. We're just opening that mouth up. See if you guys can see that. Pretty hard to tell. Maybe just a little bit wider. Nothing too. Okay, we got the case necks opened up to 0.284. Now, like I talked about a little bit earlier, I don't know if you guys can tell, but this 7 Winchester short mag, the neck is quite a lot shorter and that shoulder is quite a bit forward versus this 270 Winchester short mag's got that long neck. That shoulder's pretty far back. Now, we could just load these up, but we're gonna run into an issue, and let me show you guys with a little demonstration. Okay, so we've got our 7 Winchester short magnum. We've got our 270 Winchester short mag case. Now when we put that case in there and we run it forward, it's fine, right? It fits, everything's good there. But once we go to take it out, see how that case stays in there? So to try and help show you guys, that case is going in, but we're not getting any contact on our shoulder. So we're having a gap back here against the bolt face. Now, I don't know about you, but if there is enough room, we might not even be able to get it to ignite. I don't want that going backwards toward my face. So to remedy that, there's 2 ways to do it from my understanding. We could neck size one more to 300 or even just a little bit bigger and then go back down to 7 and create a false shoulder. Or the route I'm gonna do is we can seat that bullet far enough out that it's on the lands, so it's pushing the base flush with the bolt, and that will help us with contact. That way we don't have to worry about movement coming backwards at our face. So we're just gonna seat the bullets long and use that to fire form. And we're gonna use a light load on some other powder, not that we're using the reload. We're gonna use some factory second bullets in order to save some money that way too. Okay guys, one thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna measure how far the shoulder's moving. So we're just gonna get a measurement beforehand. We zeroed out our caliber. We're using the Hornady headspace gauge. Come up with a 1.772. We're gonna write that down in our notes and keep that to see how far that shoulder moves forward. Okay guys, what we're gonna use to seat that bullet against the lands so that we can get ignition is we got these 165 grain, I believe they're Sierras or Hornadys, I'm not sure, but they're factory seconds from Midway USA. They had a deal on these. These were only about 14 cents a piece. I did have some 150 ELDXs I was using, but I'd kind of like to save those. Unfortunately, because I'm using these, we're gonna end up using some IMR 4350. It's the only powder that I'm not super using right now. And I just went to Hodgdon and I went and looked at the 168 load and I went to the very bottom and that's what we're using. We're gonna probably end up shooting like 57 grains of this just to fire form our loads. Now, when we're trying to fire form our loads, we need this to be touching. So we just kind of seated that bullet a little bit. We're gonna take it out and go put it in the rifle. Make sure it's on safety and in a safe position. And we're gonna see if that we can get that to touch the lands flush and close the bolt. Okay, so we got this in there. Make sure the rifle's on safe. We're gonna see if we can't get this bolt to close. And it doesn't look like we're quite there. So we're just gonna pull this back out and go seat it a little deeper. Okay, so I don't save you guys the hassle. I ended up going to a 2494 and I could get it to close, and I got the bolt to close, and it ended up seating that bullet another 60 thousandths deeper. So that's what we're gonna try and run off our lands. So one thing I did want to let you guys know when you're doing this too is I have pulled the firing pin out, and I've also pulled the ejector and ejector plunger out. That's how we're trying to get a flush fit on this bolt. So you can see this falls pretty easily. There's nothing in there. So when we're trying to size these bullets, we're kind of doing this off feel, but what we want is we want kind of that same, like see that? We can get it in, but we probably want to go just a little bit deeper in there. Okay, we seated that bullet in just a little bit more. We'll just keep going slowly. We're trying to find that. That's a little bit better. You see how that's already starting to close? That's a pretty nice place right there. I think that's what we're going to load to. Just a little bit of tension on it. So with that being said, we're going to end up loading to about 2.422 OAL overall length. And we'll do some fire forming. All right, guys, I know what you're probably thinking, because I've had the same thought myself, you know, is fire forming is probably pretty stupid, right? What the heck can you do with that? Well, we got our speed on these loads. We're going about 29.49. We hit the big rock at 1,000 in 3 shots. We got 5 shots on paper. I'll roll that footage in. It's just good practice. We can practice with this ammo is what we're going to try to do. And we're going to go to 1,000 and see if we can't hit the gong. I think we missed. Ooh, I think we're to the left and high again. One thing I don't love about a radial brake, I do get a lot of dust. Oh, we just missed it. Oh, I think we hit her. 4 shots. Not too bad. All right, guys, I just wanted to add, if you're using other brass like I am, I'm using that 270 Winchester short magnum brass. Always be careful if you have that rifle that you're not mixing and matching ammo. And that ammo actually shot so good that I'm going to use it to try to kill an antelope. So I'm excited about that. And I hope you guys enjoy this. If you do, please pull the trigger on that like and subscribe button. I greatly appreciate it.